People that say you need preservatives in your creams are lying.
Oh, great.
So what we're going to do first is measure our beeswax.
So how much cream are we making? So how much will we yield about so we can...
I think I end up yielding in these recipes about 12.
So you're going to make 12 jars like that.
Jars.
12 2-ounce jars. Okay, so 24 ounces of finished cream. And then so you have to do this, we take our scale and
this is important for the beeswax because, you know, more or less beeswax can affect the texture, and I want to keep it that nice velvety texture. So I found out of trial and error that 3/4 of an ounce of beeswax is the right amount. And this will get, you can't have this cream be left in a hot car.
Or it will explode.
No, it'll separate. It'll separate and it'll just become an oozy mess. So there we have 3/4 of an ounce.
Okay.
So we got our beeswax.
Great.
And I'm just going to leave that over here because I'm going to make more. And then the first thing you want to do is heat your oils. And why you don't want to heat your oils first when you're infusing them is because, especially with these oils, it's because they're not very stable. And it'll change the property of the oil.
Oh, okay.
We just want to really lightly heat them. You never want to boil them or get them too warm.
Okay.
Because they'll go rancid a lot quicker. But also, I haven't had a problem with my oils going rancid, so...
Can we just come over here and do all our herbal projects in your kitchen? Because this is really nice. I'm really loving this.
So, and the other thing I think that is kind of a misnomer too is that you have to have everything be super sterile when you're making...
Yeah.
I've never, you know, I mean, I just pulled this out of the drawer. It's my measuring cup and my spatula I use. And I don't put like a dirty knife in my coconut oil. I don't like, if I put coconut oil on my toast, I don't let the crumbs get in the coconut oil, you know, things like that. But I don't go and sterilize everything before I use it. I mean, and I've never had a problem. That's another reason they say that can increase your mold or bacteria growth. And I've never had a problem with that.
So you're taking a cup, is that?
1/3 of a cup.
That's 1/3 of a cup.
Of coconut oil.
So we've got 3/4 of a...
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 3 ounce... What was the...
3/4 of an ounce.
3/4 of an ounce of beeswax and
1/3 of a cup of coconut oil.
that are being lightly melted.
That in there.
Do you have the heat on yet?
No,
Okay.
I don't have the heat on because I want to really monitor the heat. I don't want to, and I melt these first because these are really the only 2 oils that need melting.
Okay.
Well, the beeswax isn't an oil. What is it? It's wax, I guess.
Right.
But this is the only 2 things that need to be melted, and that way I can really control how much I heat my other oils. So I'm just going to add my room temperature oils to this after it's melted, but not actually even put those on the flame.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yep.
So we're just going to let this do its thing.
Okay, and we're a little bit in the future, and we've taken the melted coconut oil / beeswax, put it right there, and now we have a measuring cup. And how much oil are we going to use?
We are going to add 1/4 cup of the grapeseed oil and 1/4 cup of the sweet almond oil.
Okay.
But that's what this is combined, so I'm just going to use 1/2 cup of this because I have...
Okay. So we're using 1/2 cup of oil.
1/2 cup of oil.
So no matter what kind of
Look at that.
infused herbal oil you want to use, it's got to measure up 1/2 cup, whether you're choosing grapeseed or apricot or almonds, right?
Yeah, and the other thing on this is, you know, you don't have to use infused oils. You can just use the oil and make a nice cream.
Right.
Which is...
You can make ice cream? Sorry.
So then we're just going to pour this. So I don't heat this directly on the flame, the sweet almond and grapeseed oil, because I want to minimize the amount of heat that these oils get, because I want them to last a long time. I don't want them to turn into stinky salami. So you just mix this together. It'll kind of make the beeswax
harden up a little again.
Harden a little, but then it'll
melt back again.
Yeah. So you just want to make sure they're nice and combined. And I have a little coconut oil on my spatula, so I'm just gonna
smells nice already.
Yeah, it's yummy stuff. Alright, so that's that. So then we're gonna take our blender.
Okay.
Which you gotta have a strong blender to do this.
Yeah, it's a good quality blender.
This blender rocks.
This is a sterilizer.
Which I think isn't that like the only blender company practically? I think they have a monopoly on good blenders.
Oh. We have a Vitamix, that's pretty good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
So I know
but that's kind of expensive too.
A friend of mine, I showed her how to make these and she went home and tried to do it and her blender conked on her. Ooh. So it's hard on blenders. You gotta have a good blender. So what we're gonna do is just make sure your bottom's on nice and good. And again, you know, I'm not sterilizing this. So
bottom's on good.
And then we're just gonna pour our warm oils in there. Make sure you get all the yummies in the bottom of the pan.
Okay, cleaning out the pan good with your little spatula.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing is, I've learned also that you have to be really precise on this recipe. And this recipe, I should say, is based on the recipe in Rosemary Gladstar's book.
Doesn't everybody use this book? Family Herbal without the
Family
jacket
Herbal.
on it.
Yeah, I can't stand those jackets. Those jackets never last. And this is Rosemary's Perfect Cream.
Okay. Oh, that's what we're using based on Rosemary's Perfect Cream?
We are basing it on that. I've cut the lanolin.
Thanks,
I cut
Rosemary.
the lanolin and I...
So you cut the lanolin out. Okay.
So this is the recipe with the lanolin cut, and then I just use infused oils instead of plain oils.
Oh, good to know.
That's where I got it from.
Right, on page 132. All right.
So that's that.
Handy.
And so we're going to let this just kind of get to room temperature in here.
Okay. And then we'll let that
And
sit
then while we do that, we're going to mix our waters.
Okay. Won't that turn into a kind of a salve, though? I mean...
Well, you just want to know it'll still... I'll show you. You just want it to not be quite that hot.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be room temperature. But
Alrighty.
not quite that hot.
So
then we're going to take our waters.
Okay.
We'll do them over here. And I would use a separate measuring cup for your waters so you don't get your oils and waters in the same.
Yes. That's right. You always want to keep your water separate.
And this is 1/3 of a cup of aloe vera. And this is just from Mountain Rose, which is really nice because it's pretty liquidy, as you'll see. Rather than the green stuff in the stores.
Right.
So this is real, just aloe vera gel.
That's about 100 milliliters, which is how much on the ounces side? 1/3 of a cup.
1/3 of a cup. So isn't that 3 ounces?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this, it looks like it says, which is interesting, it's cold pressed aloe vera, potassium sorbate, and citric acid as natural preservatives.